going on, friends and family? It's your boy Elton, aka Eltizor, as you guys might call me. And today we are talking about consistency over perfection. See, one of the things that, in this world, in this generation, that we put on social media, that we put everywhere is, is perfection. Everybody wants to show that, that they are perfect. Everybody wants to show that, that they don't bleed, that they put on this facade just to show perfection. And I feel like we want to reciprocate that same thing with God, in the sense that, we want to be these perfect beings, but you see, God is not looking for perfect people. If we were all perfect, in that case, we would not really need God. God doesn't want this perfect being, because the Bible said that even in our imperfections, God was still loving us, caring for us and stuff like that. But God is looking for consistency. See, because consistency will always beat perfection. A woman wants a consistent man. She doesn't want a man who's perfect. She wants just somebody who's going to be consistent with the love. And it's the same thing that God wants for us. God wants us to be consistent, and I think this is probably one of the best things. It's gonna help you not to drift from God. It's gonna help you not to backslide from God. It's when you're consistent with. I'm not talking about just coming and going to church on Sundays and that's it. I'm talking about every day. Something that's continuous. Consistency will always beat perfection or talent. It doesn't matter what it is. That is the same thing that God is asking from us as believers, as Christians, to be consistent with Him. Don't just do it 3 days and the next day you stop. No, be consistent with it. Go at it every time, because consistency is always going to beat perfection. That is what God wants from us. In Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, the Apostle Paul is speaking to the church of Galatians, and he's constantly telling them not to get worried, just to keep doing what they're doing. It's like when you work on constantly doing something, you might not see the results right away, but eventually, something is going to start producing fruits, and that is why God is demanding from us, when you look at, all the great people in the Bible, when you look at the Moses, the Paul, the Joshua, these are not people that, they were not perfect, they didn't really have this good life going on for them, but they were just being consistent in what they were doing, and consistency is always going to beat somebody who's perfect, because your perfection cannot last that long. Only God is the all-perfect being who is going to be able to control everything, but you see, but once you're consistent with it, I'm telling you, there's every day something that's going to be different about you, even in the book of Revelations, remember the church in Ephesus, God was saying that, I see your perseverance, I see your hard work, I see how, you've become, you're constantly doing the right thing, you're not getting worried, God was telling them how they were so consistent. You have to be consistent. You can't start off on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and then you just give up on Saturday and Friday and Sunday. You gotta be consistent with it. And I want to encourage somebody, don't get tired, just be consistent. And remember that you don't have to be perfect for God to, just to look at you for the way you are, but God just wants you to be consistent. And that is in every relationship. A woman wants her husband to be consistent, Don't be a perfect being, but be somebody who is consistent. I appreciate you guys. It's your boy LT.